If you're in your 40s, 50s, or early 60s and living in the US, UK, or Canada, there's a good chance you've already cleaned up your health. You eat better, you get some form of exercise, you're paying attention to sleep and stress. Maybe you've even added few supplements. But something's still slipping. The energy isn't there. You're not bouncing back like you used to. That edge you relied on is fading. This isn't just aging, it's cellular entropy. Unless you start confronting it directly, your mitochondria will continue to break down, quietly, relentlessly, and ahead of schedule. Your mitochondria are the organelles inside nearly every cell that convert food and oxygen into usable energy, but they don't run clean. Every time they generate ATP, the fuel your body runs on, they release reactive oxygen species and heat. Over time, those byproducts chip away at the structure of the mitochondria themselves. That's entropy, the second law of thermodynamics in action. It's physics, and you're feeling it whether you recognize it or not. Most advice stops at the basics. Move more, eat clean, get your 8 hours. That's all necessary, but it's no longer enough. If you want to protect your energy, your metabolism, and your brain function as you age, you have to go further. You have to manage entropy at the mitochondrial level. As mitochondria age, they become less efficient. They produce less energy and more waste. That imbalance doesn't just make you tired and leads to systemic problems. Inflammation rises, cells misfire, and repair processes slow down. This isn't just fatigue, it becomes disease risk. Heart cells, brain cells, immune cells, they all depend on high-functioning mitochondria to do their jobs. When mitochondrial output drops, so does everything else. There's also the problem of mitochondrial DNA. Unlike your nuclear DNA, which has built-in protection, mitochondrial DNA is more exposed to damage. And once those mutations start stacking up, your cells start accumulating defective mitochondria. That's when the system really begins to slide. The body tries to clear out the bad ones through a process called mitophagy. But as entropy increases, even that recycling process falters. In a 2020 study published in Nature Metabolism, researchers examined mitochondrial function in healthy adults ranging from their 20s to their 70s. What they found was sharp and sobering. Mitochondrial efficiency declined significantly with age, even in people without disease. But when subjects were given specific interventions, including NAD plus precursors and mitochondrial uncoupling agents, their cells showed measurable improvements in energy output. The implication is clear. Entropy can be slowed and sometimes partially reversed if you intervene directly at the mitochondrial level. That means moving past general wellness advice and into precise action, and it starts with understanding what actually affects mitochondrial entropy. One strategy is controlled cold exposure, triggering mitochondrial biogenesis, the creation of new, healthier mitochondria. Cold stress activates pathways that signal your body to adapt by building more efficient energy systems. Done right, it's not a gimmick, it's a cellular upgrade. Another tactic is time-restricted feeding. Not extreme fasting, just narrowing the window in which you eat each day. This gives your mitochondria time to clean house. During these fasted periods, your body ramps up autophagy, including the mitophagy process that clears out damaged mitochondria. Red and near-infrared light therapy is also showing real promise. When targeted at specific wavelengths, this light can activate a mitochondrial enzyme called cytochrome C oxidase. That stimulation helps improve ATP production, especially in damaged or energy-depleted cells. It's not magic, it's photobiomodulation, and the studies backing it are growing. Supplementation matters too, but only when used strategically. CoQ10 helps maintain the integrity of the electron transport chain, a core function of healthy mitochondrial output. PQQ has been shown to support the growth of new mitochondria. Then A a metabolite found in pomegranate, promotes mitophagy, and NMN helps support NAD+ levels, which are essential for energy metabolism and DNA repair. These aren't performance boosters. They're structural supports. They don't override entropy. They help your body resist it more effectively. Resistance training is another underrated mitochondrial intervention. When done properly, it doesn't just build muscle. It stimulates mitochondrial turnover. Muscle cells under mechanical tension generate local stress that forces your mitochondria to adapt, clean themselves, and multiply. The key is progression and recovery. Lifting weights 2 or 3 times a week with enough intensity to challenge your system can drive meaningful changes in mitochondrial function. And those changes spill over into better glucose control, improved fat metabolism, and stronger resilience across the board. Sleep is also non-negotiable, but not just in terms of hours. Deep sleep stages are when your brain flushes out metabolic waste, but it's also when mitochondria undergo repair and reset. Poor sleep fragments these stages, short-circuits mitophagy, and leaves your cells in a half-recovered state. That grogginess you feel isn't always from late nights. It's often a mitochondrial backlog that never got cleared. You're running yesterday's mess on today's bandwidth. And here's the part most people miss. It doesn't take years to shift this. In fact, small changes done consistently can produce real results in a few weeks. One man in his early 50s from Toronto, who had been experiencing persistent fatigue and brain fog despite clean eating and regular cardio, started incorporating cold showers, early morning light exposure, urolithin A, and 2 fasted workouts per week. Within 6 weeks, his afternoon crash disappeared. His sleep deepened. His glucose variability stabilized. He wasn't trying to live forever. He just wanted to stop sliding. And that's exactly what happened. If you're someone who's already watching your macros, logging your steps, taking your magnesium, and still feeling stuck, this is probably why. You're managing the exterior without confronting the breakdown happening at the center of your cellular machinery. There's also the impact on your brain. Mitochondria aren't just about muscle and metabolism. They're deeply embedded in how your brain regulates mood, memory, and cognitive clarity. Regions like the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex rely heavily on mitochondrial output. When that output declines, you get foggy thinking, low motivation, emotional flatness, not because you're tired, but because your neurons are underpowered. This is the deeper cost of entropy. It's not just physical, it's mental. It pulls you away from clarity and presence. It eats at the part of you that used to feel sharp, awake, and alive. Managing entropy means moving differently. It means eating with purpose, not obsession. Sleeping not just long enough, but in rhythm with your circadian biology. It means choosing stress that stimulates repair instead of breaking you further. It means cycling interventions, not sticking to a rigid protocol that loses effectiveness over time. Entropy is inevitable, but the rate and the impact are negotiable. You don't need to be perfect, you need to be precise. You need to give your mitochondria the conditions to work, not just survive. Because when your mitochondria start failing, they take everything down with them. Your stamina, your immune system, your attention span, your emotional range, all of it runs on energy, and energy runs on structure. Entropy is a law of the universe, and we can't outrun it. What we can do is choose to fight it. Thanks for watching. We are offering new health content that ties directly into the laws and nature of our universe. Please let us know what you think below.